अस्सलाम वालेकुम व्यूअर्स, आप देख रहे हैं वॉइस ऑफ टोरंटो टेलीविज़न। मैं हूं आपका होस्ट अंजुम मलिक, आपके साथ दोबारा आज ट्रांसमिशन में मई 15 वेडनेसडे वाले दिन दोबारा आपके साथ मुखातिब हूं। और जैसे कि मैंने अपने प्रोग्राम के शुरू में आज सुबह में भी जिक्र किया था कि आई विल हैव द मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट रूबी सोहता विद अस टू टॉक अबाउट द बजट 2024। आप हमारा वॉइस ऑफ टोरंटो टेलीविज़न सारे आईपी चैनल्स पे देख रहे हैं। वी आर लाइव ऑन सोशल मीडिया, फेसबुक, यूट्यूब। ड्यूरिंग दिस प्रोग्राम आपका अगर कोई भी क्वेश्चन हो बजट के हवाले से, कोई भी आप चीज़ पूछना चाहते हो, राइट फ्राम herself, member of parliament, then we can open the lines for you, and our line numbers are always on the studio's television screen, which is 905-670-4114. And as I discussed this morning that we are discussing about the budget 2024, there's a lot of new things that have been initiated in the budget, very good ones, which I saw, and I should appreciate the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and the caucus and the Liberal government for bringing this kind of a working budget that has a lot of things in there for the common people of common Canadian, I would say. But to put a light on this, हमने सोचा कि आज बड़ी डिटेल से हम बात करें। आपकी फरमाइश भी आई हुई थी कि बजट के हवाले से हम बात करें, तो today I have taken this opportunity and I requested Honorable Ruby Sohota ji to be with us, and she's with us in the studio as always. Very good evening to you. How are you?
Good evening, Anjum. I'm doing very well. I hope all your viewers are doing well too.
Thank you so much.
उनको हमारी तरफ से अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
वालेकुम सलाम। जिस तरह आप सलाम करती हैं ना, it's so humble. अस्सलाम वालेकुम। हमारे यहाँ लोग बोलते हैं अस्सलाम वालेकुम, तो जब आप बोलती हैं अस्सलाम वालेकुम, it's like अस्सलाम वालेकुम. It's just very polite, and thank you so much.
Well, I have a lot of respect for you, Anjum, your viewers. I know that I get a lot of feedback, and I want to really thank them for their support.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm going to go back to the camera again one more time. Viewers, Ruby Sohota is here. 2024 budget we are discussing. Koi bhi question ho, 905-670-4114 is the number to call. Our studio lines are open. We will take any of your call during the show, so do not hesitate to give us a call. Number one. How did the budget go in the House of Commons? There was some uproars. थोड़ी जी आवाज़ इधरों उधरों, थोड़ा पंजाबी में मैं बात करूँगा थोड़ा आपके साथ।
Yes, पंजाबी में मज़ा आंदा।
NDP is no, so right now it's being tabled, and so where it goes next? So what is the process for people to understand?
Yes, last week budget पे debate होनी शुरू होगी सी। So we are जो बहस होती है पार्लियामेंट में वो शुरू हो गई है। So उसके पॉजिटिव प्रोज कॉन सब डिबेट किए जा रहे हैं, and उस डिबेट की agreed upon time होता है, right? So that's a part of my role as the whip as well, to work with the other parties to see how many days we need to debate this budget and get it to a vote.
And for a lot of people, again, I'll tell on the camera that Ruby ji was appointed during my last show with her. She got this new parliamentary position of the government whip.
Yes.
And then she had the role as well with the government.
Yes.
अच्छा.
So हमारा गोल है भी सिटिंग सेशन तो पहले बजट सारा पास हो जाए। We just got the fall economic statement passed just a couple of weeks ago. So वो fall का पेश किया हुआ था। But we have we're very motivated to get the budget passed by the end of June.
End of June.
Yeah.
So in general right now, obviously when this budget came out, opposition leader, obviously his role is to oppose the budget.
Yes.
And not to give you a good hand or hand to pass the budget.
Yeah.
But you have the NDP support with the budget as well. Where is NDP? I heard that there are some reservations from NDP also on the budget. What is that reservations?
Look, we've been working with the NDP on a lot of issues, like big issues that we're doing together. I think are going to be in the long term really have a great impact on Canadians, like dental care, pharmacare, so many things that we've joined forces to work on. But in this budget, we've taken, there's a lot of ideas that the Conservatives talk about. Pierre Poilievre, the original idea ta nahi hai, originally we had it in our platforms,
Yeah.
But he's been talking about federal lands, affordable housing, labor, all of these things,
So I have taken out some very important points, which I'm going to ask you.
Okay, I'll
and
let
then
you ask.
Can keep on giving
so I think we're going to be okay. The answer to your question, I think the NDP is going to support this budget.
Okay.
We believe the Conservatives will stick to their opposition like every other budget, as usual. And we may get some bloc support as well.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Okay. So a few things. I see from the budget, I got some points that are favorable to Canadians. I took those points, and then you can put a light on those.
Okay.
The first thing first is the capital gain that they're talking about in the budget.
Yeah.
From 0.5% to 2/3%. Anything over $250,000. So the government said, okay, now you can elaborate on this.
Sure.
Okay, anything less than $250,000. If I bought a property, for example, if people are watching us today for $1 million, and I bought the property for $1 million, but I sold it for 1.1 million, for example. So it's only $100,000 came as equity in the house.
Yeah.
So if I don't have more than 250.
So everything is the same.
Everything is the same. I don't pay any capital gain.
Yeah. Well, you do pay, people already pay in capital gains.
Okay.
You just don't have an increase to what you pay in capital gain.
Okay.
So right now, if anyone, whether it's from stocks or secondary properties, other than residential property, you pay some income tax on capital gains, right? Right now, what it is that you pay 50% of that gain. So like if you make $100,000, on 50,000 of that, you're going to pay according to your income bracket, the tax. So instead of paying income tax on the $100,000 income you just made, right? It's looked at as income, that profit. There is this benefit that's given to people that instead of on the 100,000, we're going to only make you pay it on the 50,000. On the 50,000, you would pay according to your income bracket.
250 is the threshold that they're talking about?
So we're saying that capital gains that you already pay will remain the same up to 250,000.
Up to 250.
And after 250,000, the income that you make will be now not on the 50%, but on 66%, right? So instead of on 50,000,
so from half would be 50%.
Yeah.
2/3 would be 66%.
Yes. So that's not the amount of your of tax you're paying. Oh, inclusion rate hai gaya. So किस point ते थोनू किन्ने income ते अद्धी income ते pay कर रहे हो तुसी लोग mostly तो लोग Canada दे विच जो कम कर दिया वो अपनी पूरी income ते tax pay कर दिया, right? I work, I pay on my full income.
Right.
A nurse works, she pays on her full income, right? So there are many passive income sources जो आजकल popular होए हैं ने, and they're gaining popularity, right? Which is through the stock market, through many ways that people are investing in companies and pulling out dividends and making millions a year. And on that money that they sit back and make millions of dollars they only have to pay income tax on half of it, right? Rather than how the rest of Canadians that work pay on all of it.
So this actually
this makes them pay it on 66% of it.
This actually target people who are making tons of money.
Yeah.
So they end up paying more capital gain tax versus just the regular Canadians who are not regularly selling a home or bought a home, made a little bit of equity. So they shouldn't be concerned.
Look, majority of, even as people are talking about cottages, the calculation is only 10% of Canadians own cottages.
Yeah.
And secondary households, some people I know in our community think that 70% of people own secondary residences. That is not true. According to Stats Canada, only about 13% of the Canadian population owns a secondary home or more, right? So we really have to bring this back into perspective and realize that when we're talking about properties, it's not that many, and not too many people are making over 250,000 in profit, especially if you're buying these days.
Right.
Maybe if you bought a long time ago. Generally, what we're trying to do is to target people who are making money in stocks, right? Making the millions of dollars. That's where the impact is the largest.
Yeah. So you're going after those people.
Do you know what? In the U.S., you pay on all of capital gains. You pay tax on 100% of capital gains.
Okay.
And here, even in Canada, at one point, it was at 75%.
Okay.
Right? So yes, from 75%, inclusion rate, we went down to 50% inclusion rate, and now for some people that are making a certain amount, over $250,000 a year,
okay,
we're going up to a 66% inclusion rate. मतलब उस income दे 66% हिस्से ते वो आपदा income tax rate दे हिसाब दे नाल payment करेंगे.
Okay, that's clear.
Yeah.
Second point is climate action payments.
Yes.
So
you were asking about this last time.
I'm asking.
I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there is a carbon tax rebate.
Yes.
That the Prime Minister has. People are getting about $180 or something, and then there is a climate action payment. What is the difference between these two?
Well, we're going to be
or it's been renamed as a carbon tax.
We've renamed it as the carbon
tax.
The carbon rebate.
Carbon rebate.
The carbon rebate.
Correct.
And so because it is money that's given back to you, right? It is to incentivize people to start thinking about making different choices, right? To think about, can I convert my heating into a heat pump? Or can I drive an electric? Or can I do some things? If people do a lot of those things, they're going to be making money with this rebate rather than, paying too much money. People who have a very minimal carbon footprint, they're still getting the rebate. They still get it at the same rate, right? So you could actually, in the long term, once you start making these changes, you could.
So it's approximately $800 a year.
A year.
Every 3 months, $880.
You could end up profiting in the long term. I know right now,
but it may not benefit for the people who are driving trucks, who take a lot of gas.
No. It's not meant to benefit them. It's meant to penalize those people necessarily, because we want them to make changes, right?
Make changes to their lifestyle.
This is the plan, right?
That's the plan.
I know it's difficult for people, but
like carpooling. So you drive less.
You consume less. Yeah.
Correct.
We want people to pollute less. We want people to think about the carbon that they are emitting into the air. This is not on every type of product you're purchasing. This is just on those things that emit carbon, like your home energy, like your gasoline. And this rebate, why it's been mentioned in this budget, is that it was going to households, right, to residences. Now it will be going to businesses as well. So for some time, small businesses, since we started it in 2020, small businesses were not getting the rebate, but they were, they are getting gas, electricity bills as well, right? And so now we're going to retroactively give them back all of what they have paid, essentially.
Oh, it's retroactive?
Retroactive to 2020, 2021 year.
Oh, so you're going to get a huge payment.
So businesses are going to get big payments. Small businesses that have employees of less than 499, I believe. So less than 500 employees. 499 and less. So less than 500 employees will get these rebates back. So this is good. This residential people will get it.
It's going to go to the corporations or individuals itself?
So that's being worked out by the CRA, because we need to make sure that these businesses are operating businesses that have paid, that have already paid the carbon price, right? So if they're paying a price on carbon right now in terms of getting billed, then we're working out a way to figure out who all of them are and give them the rebate back. Yeah.
Got it. Point number 3, 8.5 billion new spending on building 3.8 million homes. Let's put a little light on that. When that can accomplish, that's a huge number, 3.8 million, with the way the builders are building homes in Ontario or in Canada, it's a huge task.
It is a huge task. It won't happen overnight, Anjum. For a long time, we have decreased.
There's a timeline to it, like 5 years, 10 years.
There are timelines. We want to get most of the building underway now. That is why we've been trying to give out the accelerator fund for cities trying to get them to change their bylaws and policies so that they can really be aggressive with builders and attract, building new types of homes. Just today, I had an interview, or a meeting, I should say, a meeting with the City of Caledon, right? Because in the first round of Accelerator Fund funding that we gave to build housing, they did not qualify, right? Brampton had a more aggressive, a lot of big cities that had the ability to do more and build more homes, won out, but they had a great application. And so we talked a little bit about, now there's been in this budget a top up, and we're going to continue incentivizing the, more municipalities to change their policies, to decrease red tape, to start building homes. And the City of Caledon is for it. The mayor is now using her strong mayor powers to create a whole bunch of new bylaws that they never had before. And they're looking at, 4-plexes, 8-plexes, 10-plex. They're trying to build different types of homes that people were not building before. And that wouldn't have happened if we didn't give them the push that there's some money that can come to you if you start making these changes, right? So they're interested in getting that money, and so they're making those changes now. For the longest time, what have we been seeing? You know real estate. We've been seeing single family homes that are built on, a sizable lot. And in the recent years, since I've been growing up in Brampton, I've seen homes just get bigger and bigger and bigger for a long time. In the last 5 years, I'm starting to see townhomes being built again, and it's just recent. But for 20, 30 years, I only saw in this area homes get bigger and bigger and bigger. All the old homes were the old home, all the small homes were the old ones. And that's all we were building for. We weren't building for our younger generation now that is, in large numbers. We were building these, big family homes that even were bigger for most families, right? And so this is why we're saying build close to transit. We have to think about density. We have to think about the environment as well. But that is why we also have, the plan for young buyers, right? The discounts on new builds. I'm sure you have some questions about that.
It's good you brought it up. I had a question on this last time you were here on Facebook. A young couple actually sent me a message. So what is the government plan when people are buying the home for the first time and up to $500,000 and they only had 5%? Is there still that plan is there? The government can give them another 5%?
Yeah.
It's still there.
We have that plan, and we have.
And how do you qualify for that?
So the plan is run through CMHC, and
is it through the banks, like chartered banks?
It is through chartered banks through CMHC, and I can provide you that information, and maybe you can send it to.
Yeah, it's just the answer I want to give to these people, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't know the answer to it.
Yeah, and I guess people can approach their members of parliaments too if they want to find out more about the plan. Yeah.
Okay. So you think the timeline is between 5 to 10 years to build this, to reach that target of 3 million homes?
Yes. Yeah. I think we can. Happen? I think we can do it. I think we can do
across Canada.
Yeah. I mean, we have a lot of things we're working on simultaneously, and then daycare spaces is one of them too. Homes is important, of course.
Right.
This is a housing budget, but we made a big announcement just the other day about daycare spaces as well, and that's a very short timeline. We're building 86,000 new spaces by 2026 with the Ontario government in Ontario. We just did an announcement of $201 million 2 days ago, and this builds on our daycare plan that we already have in place, getting to $10 a day daycare, which is huge. It's huge for those families that need to work and want to work.
Somebody asked me that question also. It's good we are talking. How does that $10 a day care work? Does it go with the what I'm trying to say is the amount of money you make a year? How does it work?
No, so right now costs are down about 50% in Ontario. Ontario has not yet achieved the $10 a day mark. I think in the coming year it should, but Ontario signed on about a year later to this plan than everyone else across the country, or than I would say majority of the provinces. So in some provinces, they're already at $10 a day childcare. Ontario has been able to reduce by 50% costs.
I see.
So people are
if somebody
saving.
was paying 1,000, now they're paying 500.
Yes.
Okay.
And people have shown me their bills that they get from their daycare.
So they're getting subsidy from the government, these daycares?
These daycares
this is why they've been
are getting
now?
subsidized. We are helping them pay their ECE workers more, and now we're putting in more money to build more daycares as well, because their demand is high, but there's not enough spaces, right? So that's another thing. That's a part of bringing the cost down, is to have enough space as well. So all of those things are being worked on, and so yes, we as a government are subsidizing.
Viewers, आप देख रहे हैं वॉइस ऑफ टोरंटो टेलीविजन, मेरे साथ रूबी सोहता जी हैं। हम 2-3 मिनट के कमर्शियल ब्रेक पे जा रहे हैं, बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है कमर्शियल चलाना भी। दिस इज हाउ वी कैन रन आवर टेलीविजन। वी विल कम बैक, प्लीज डू नॉट चेंज दिस चैनल। आवर नंबर्स आर ऑन द स्क्रीन, 905-670-4114। If you have any questions, give us a call, be a part of the show. Send us a Facebook message. We will ask the member of parliament. She's here, and we'll come back to you in about 2-3 minutes time. Thank you very much for watching.
To be a data scientist. That's something I'm passionate about. I want to bring a change in the medical aspect. Data scientists do collection of the data, then they analyze the data, and then they transform the data into meaningful conclusions. Algoma is unique because we get a chance to do one-on-one interaction with professor, and that's the best part.
The need of computer science graduate is huge. Nowadays, the industry demand is changing every day, and Algoma is adaptable. Algoma is changing its course content, changing the degree programs, and giving several certificate courses that the industry is actually looking for.
Personalized learning is the hallmark of Algoma's university experience. Algoma is offering the accelerated second degree. It's the only one in province.
Algoma not only just give us an in-campus experience and skill set, but they also help us develop how to present ourselves in real world. Where do I see myself in 5 to 10 years? I see myself working at some multinational corporation as a data scientist. This is the first step towards my journey.
Hi, my name is Sandeep Singh. I'm the owner of Heritage India Restaurant. It's a fine dining restaurant with tradition and culture. अगर आप पुरानी दिल्ली की ट्रेडिशन, कल्चर और माहौल को एंजॉय करना चाहते हैं खानों के साथ, तो प्लीज़ आएँ हेरिटेज इंडिया, 485 मेन स्ट्रीट, ब्रैम्पटन। मैं चाहता हूँ कि आप अपनी फैमिली और दोस्तों के साथ यहाँ आएँ, आकर के हमारे खाने का लुत्फ़ उठाएँ। और अगर आपके यहाँ किसी तरीके की कोई पार्टी है, बर्थडे पार्टी, किटी पार्टी, बेबी शॉवर, तो हमारे यहाँ डिफरेंट हॉल्स भी हैं जिनका आप पूरा फ़ायदा उठा सकते हैं।
Cause I look good. Shake my hair and then I move my shoulders, legs, hands and feet. I know you mad, thanks for the input. It ain't my fault that I look this good. And I don't care because I got my hat on lean like a king. I got a smooth disposition. Got the swag running all through my veins. In the coupe when I'm whipping. I touch the top like I make a bar crane. When you talk, I don't listen. Cause I don't really wanna hear you complain. I make a smooth transition and bounce back like a basketball game. Who that got him up now?
वेलकम बैक व्यूअर्स, आप देख रहे हैं वॉइस ऑफ टोरंटो टेलीविज़न और मैं हूं आपका होस्ट अंजुम मलिक और हमारी बात आज चल रही है बजट 2024 के हवाले से। हमारे साथ लिबरल मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट रूबी सोहता जी हैं, शी इज़ अ व्हिप फॉर द गवर्नमेंट एज वेल एंड वी आर डिस्कसिंग द निटी-ग्रीटीज़ ऑफ द बजट। इस हवाले से अगर आपको कोई भी क्वेश्चन हो, प्लीज़ फील फ्री टू गिव अस अ कॉल एट 905-670-4114। Coming back to you, Ruby ji. Grocery rebate, very important. Let's put a little light on that. Is that grocery rebate is going to be in the form of the carbon tax rebate, or there's going to be something different?
So we had a grocery rebate already. This proposal, I have to say, we've done it before, and I guess they want to have it in place for the budget in case we need to bring it out again. It would be separate. The carbon rebate is
That's
a separate.
Where people are hurting so much.
Already, yeah. In terms of other grocery type related things in the budget, I would say the one big thing is, making sure we can bring more competition into Canada. Although that's a challenge, we have brought forward legislation right now in the House of Commons. It's the Competition Act to loosen regulations so that more competitors can come into this field. I think that will help with telecom, with groceries, with a lot of things, because we do have a monopoly right now in groceries. But
how did that meeting go? I mean, your trade minister had the meeting with all the giants, grocery stores. How did you go about coming up with a solution to reducing the price of the groceries? I know it's a logistic issue, it's the transportations, and everything's involved.
There's a lot of things involved.
How would the end user would benefit from that?
So Minister Champagne, our industry minister, met with all of them.
I met him at the airport, actually.
Oh, really? Yes. He's a very friendly person.
Yes,
if you did meet him.
Yes.
He is meeting with them regularly, and just the other day I was speaking with him. There are more follow-ups to make sure that they can report back. Some of the heads of grocery chains have been brought back to committees in Parliament to be questioned as to why their profits are what they are, why they have paid, and same with telecom and companies and other cable companies as to why the executives are still taking home bonuses and things like that. So we are keeping the pressure up on the grocery chains. They are independent companies, right, at the end of the day. And so we're keeping the pressure up. We're letting them know that Minister Champagne is talking to grocery chains across the world to bring in more. And that's going to be a challenge unless they bring prices down, right? They need to, so there have been some direct, requests on paper made to them. And I'm hoping I can come back here and show you what the results of those are. But we do have some challenges in Canada that some other countries face it, but the US does not face those same challenges because we have a large country, very large country with a small population that is dense in a couple of regions in the country, but also scattered throughout the country, right? This is why Canada Post is having problems. They have a mandate to serve all the way to the north to everywhere else, whereas in some companies can profit just by serving certain regions, right? We also demand of our telecom companies and our grocery companies to be able to serve all of Canada, whether it's in the Arctic or whether it's, in the GTA. And so those are some natural challenges our country is going to face. That's why we do need to continue growing our population.
Next time you're around, I'm going to ask you that question, and hopefully we get some updates from the minister, Champagne, in regards to the grocery.
I think once this legislation passes, we're going to see an impact of that.
Okay, let's put a little light on, with that budget, Canada disability benefits.
Yes.
I see there's a little bit of increase in this, but also the housing cost has gone up and all that. As $1,067. But let's put a little dive on, if you know a little bit more detail on that.
Yeah, so this is the first of its kind from the federal government. This Canada Disability Benefit has been an ask from the disability community for a long time. Disability benefits have been provincial in nature in this country always. So there is a provincial disability benefit. There is a tax credit that you get at the federal government, but now this is going to be a monthly benefit that is also like a top up to their provincial benefit, right? It's not as much as maybe what the disability communities wanted, but it is, I think, a lot better than having no federal disability benefit, which is what our country has always had. So we're providing some more relief because we know this time is tough for
this
people.
money is going to be over and above what people are getting from the province?
Yes.
That's great.
Yes, so I think that is great, and it's a really good start. We do have to work with the province. We're having those conversations because we want to make sure the province doesn't claw back any of their funding that they're already giving, their benefit. This is our ask of the province, that this benefit that we're giving is on top of the benefit they're already giving. And we would hate to see the province take any type of a step to say, okay, since you're giving this top up, that we're going to decrease our amount. That's not what the disability community needs. They need more help, and that's what we're trying to provide.
The budget also highlights regarding the OAS payment. What is that? They're talking about they're going to be supplementing OAS payments to a more substantial payments, around $1,400 or so. Do you have any idea on that?
So OAS alone doesn't get you to that mark. So, but yes, like we have done before, we've made increases to OAS. We're working towards making sure that it grows with inflation, and so there is more money being put into this budget to continue to increase the OAS pension that seniors get little by little. We have made a big 10% increase already to seniors over the age of 75, but seniors under the age of 75 also want to see further increases. We did make, smaller increases to them as well in the past when we first came into government, and now these will be additional increases to them as well.
And I also see another good thing in the budget regarding the GIS payments, the guaranteed income support. It was still a provincial thing?
No,
it's federal.
It's federal.
It's federal.
So all of these things need to be topped up a little bit, right? As inflation grows, these programs and these pensions need to grow with inflation. So that's what you're seeing in the budget, that there is money put aside to continue to meet our obligations of making sure that our pensions are growing along with the cost of living. I know seniors are having a hard time. I think seniors will be happy to hear that our government is continuing to invest in this area. It is a big cost though. It's a big cost on government. I know people talk about Canada Child Benefit, but actually pensions and the disability benefit, these are bigger costs on the government than anything else. But the Liberal government truly feels that these are the most vulnerable people in our society, and we want to provide these benefits and strengthen the benefits as the years go on. I don't think you're going to see that from if there was to be a Conservative government, you are going to see cuts. These are the things that they're talking about.
Well, I think
this is why they're voting against the budget.
I honestly, when I was going through the budget and I read it, I only pinpointed the areas that I thought that were benefiting our Canadians, we should focus on. And I think it's a good effort by the Liberal government, that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, that he is thinking on those lines through his caucus, that people are suffering, and all these top-up payments from here and there, the rebates and the OIS and OAC and GIS payments and all that, they all makes
not to mention pharmacare, right? We're working on the pharmacare legislation right now. How many people in our community have diabetes? So many.
Now it's been implemented. It has it gone down to age 65 yet, or no? It's still at 70. I mean, because it was in the transition that initially it will start with 75, then 70, then 60. The age factor.
I think you're talking about dental. Dental was the enrollment. Sorry, the dental enrollment did start with 90 years old, 80-year-old, 75-year-old, and yes, now it's in its 60s right now.
It is. Okay.
You can apply.
You have to apply for that?
You have to apply for the dental program through Service Canada. You can apply. You can go to any Service Canada and apply. You can go online. All the steps and procedures are written there. For a while there was a phone number.
But is it associated with the threshold of the income you make also?
$90,000. So seniors, I think, for a vast majority of them will qualify because the income threshold is quite high. It's at $90,000.
So if you made 50, 60, you still qualify?
You still qualify for free dental. No copay. This is free dental for seniors, for children under 18 years old.
Yeah.
So all our youth and young children, for those with disabilities, by this June, everyone will be enrolled of this category that I'm talking about. Under 18, over 65, and those with disabilities. If they make less than $90,000 a year, they will get free dental care, meaning cleanings, dentures, a whole lot of different things, root canals, all of the things that our seniors end up often going to other countries to try to get. I know seniors are going to Pakistan to get, more affordable
they
dental
buy a
work.
ticket and travel to Pakistan.
All the way to get dental work. I mean, I know they're doing other things at the same time, but I think, our standard of care is very good in this country, and if you could go to a dentist here and get the work done while you're here, there's nothing like that. And so we want to provide that for seniors.
Now, the other one, two important announcements that I saw. The Prime Minister was in Alliston just a few days ago with the EV battery plant. Billions of dollars of investment, and then Port Corbin. Can you have a little bit details on that? I know there's a lot of money has been allocated for this, but how much jobs they're going to create for Canadians, these projects?
Thousands, over 1,000, I think, direct jobs, and indirect jobs are in the tens of thousands, but I don't have the exact numbers right now. But I also want to clarify, because the way headlines were reported, the government of Canada is not investing $15 billion.
No, use tax rebate.
Honda is investing $15 billion. This is huge. This is a big win for the Canadian economy. A Japanese company is coming and choosing Canada to put all of their money
and in Ontario, obviously.
In Ontario, which is the manufacturing hub. They could have gone to the US, right? So I've heard, I just wanted to, over the last couple of weeks, people saying, oh, why did we need to do this? Why did we need to spend any taxpayer money? I'm like, first of all, we did not spend any upfront money on this. That money is being invested by Honda into Canada. And yes, we are going to be giving some tax incentives and tax breaks to the company, but that's not upfront money. That is what we would take in less, right? By giving tax breaks, yes, maybe we take in a little less. The calculation is between Ontario and federal, maybe it will amount to $5 billion, maybe not $2 billion, maybe for federal. So,
but then the province is pitching it in as well.
The province is pitching in, right? And these are through breaks. These are not taxpayer money going to them. So that I want to clarify, because some people think okay, why are we giving taxpayer money to this company? They're not. They're giving us their money, hiring Canadians, making sure they're going to be buying our resources, our lithium, right, to create their batteries. It starts creating this supply chain in our country that we never had. So this is thinking about the future and thinking about our kids. What kind of jobs do we need? What kind of manufacturing, and what kind, what kind of sectors do we need to develop in our country, right? And this is a sector that's up until now been untapped. But we have the resources under the ground and over the ground, right? We have the manpower as well. So,
One more question which I got on my last show with you, and it's good that we're talking today. That is to do with our diplomatic affair in Pakistan, especially, our foreign missions, foreign affairs. What has happened in the past up till now? Any new development for the embassy working have been changed from abroad, and the visas are getting processed in Pakistan, Islamabad? That's going to create all the backlog that could be cleared. What is the update on that? A lot of people have been asking me on that.
You're right. I was supposed to bring you an update from our last thing. So I did speak, though, to the Immigration Minister, Mark Miller, about this. He says there's been added bodies to Pakistan embassy.
They added staff.
They have added staff. It's in low numbers still, but they have added more staff, and they have added it to do some urgent type of processing work in Islamabad. That's all I know.
But the applications are then handled now in Pakistan, Islamabad, or still overseas in United Arab Emirates?
Both India and Pakistan are both being processed overseas right now.
They are.
All processed overseas.
But I think
there are certain things that are being done.
In 2022, there was an announcement made by, I think, the minister itself that they're going to be moving it to Pakistan.
So they're increasing capacity. That's why they added more staff.
Okay.
To handle visas, but they still don't have enough to process all of it.
Okay.
So they're slowly adding more. Like I can only say, like in India now, we're down to 5 staff. And processing used to happen there. Processing is no longer happening there, but it still works.
Okay.
But certain things are being handled. So that I think that's what the minister was trying to explain to me, that core staff is being added so that certain services, emergency services, can be provided right out of Pakistan, right? Stamping can start right out of Pakistan. So even though someone may approve or decline the case somewhere else, the case can be, passport can be handed back and forth in Pakistan. It can be stamped there. Tier, one-time travel documents, all that kind of stuff. So they're going to work on building that capacity, and then it could go into full-fledged, right?
Thank you, Rubiji.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure. I thought it'd be on a small sitting like this, we can at least highlight some of those very important, delicate issues on the budget that we talked about today. I hope this comes out to be a benefit to our community.
I hope so. I was recently talking at a round table with a group of imams and some experts on halal mortgages as well.
Yes.
There's a lot of questions around that from the community.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild.
But we're starting the talks.
The chartered banks have to rework their strategies, and they're probably gonna have to add it into their interest. All that interest is gonna be added on as a...
So we're starting that work to explore how these products, because they're available by some lenders. I think trying to bring it into the mainstream and having more regulations around it will help people protect themselves, right? And we want to be able to protect Canadians and offer the best products possible. So that's something that this budget is setting aside some funding to be able to start doing.
Next sitting we will chat on that.
Yes.
Thank you so much as always. Really humbled that you always come here to the studios and enlighten our shows. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Viewers, ये थे हमारे साथ रूबी सोदा जी. We'll come back to you in the next few weeks again with the new updates. अपना ख्याल रखें और ज़रूर feedback के लिए voiceoftorontotelevision@gmail.com हमारा email address है. As always like our page, share our groups, which is our social media handle as well, Voice of Toronto TV, and keep on watching all the good shows that we bring it to you. There's more shows to come tonight, and keep on tuning, and I'll come back to you again, on another show. Till then, a very good evening and a very good night. Thank you for watching Voice of Toronto Television. Bye-bye.
ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਉਦੋਂ ਸਮਝ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਜਦ ਅਸੀਂ ਟਰੈਵਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਜੇ ਟਰੈਵਲਿੰਗ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸੁਪਨਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਸੁਪਨੇ ਨੂੰ ਸੱਚ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ETN Travels ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਜਰਨੀ ਨੂੰ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਇੱਕਦਮ ਸਮੂਥ ਡੋਮੈਸਟਿਕ ਐਂਡ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਟਰੈਵਲ ਆਲ ਇਨਕਲੂਸਿਵ ਪੈਕੇजेस cruises super visa insurance ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਨਾਲ ETN Travels ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਹਰ ਟਰੈਵਲਿੰਗ ਨੀਡ ਲਈ one stop solution, 2 locations to serve you, Brampton and Mississauga.
ETN Travels serving you from 2 locations, Brampton 905-463-1301, Mississauga 905-463-1304.
जिंदगी शम्मा की सूरत हो खुदाया मेरी।
मुस्लिम वेलफेयर सेंटर के जरिए आप पाकिस्तान के रेगिस्तान में प्यासों को पानी पिला सकते हैं, गरीब बच्चों की तालीम और माली परवरिश कर सकते हैं, बीमारों का मुफ्त इलाज करवा सकते हैं। ज़कात, सदक़ात या फिदिया देने के लिए आज ही हमें फ़ोन करें 1-866-754-3111।